to you top stories from different newspapers across Nigeria. We are glad to inform you that we'll bring top stories from papers like the Punch newspaper. We have stories from the Hope newspaper. We have stories from the Nation newspaper. Also, we have stories from
the Nation newspaper, the Daily Post newspaper, and the Cable newspaper for today.
I am Florence Ibarema. Our me on the program is
Abdulrasaq.
We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll start with the major headlines for today's stories.
Alright, starting from the first newspaper today, we have the Punch newspaper. A story coming from the Punch newspaper. We have Jonathan slams sector for abandoning Bayelsa's project.
Of course, we have stories from
another story coming from the Punch newspaper. Again from the Punch newspaper, we have presidential jet still unsold 4 months after listing. Another story coming from the Punch newspaper as well. We have this story coming about the INEC chairman. We have Senate screening new INEC chairman Amo quit on today.
We have stories from the Hope where we discuss councillors suspend or will cancel chair over alleged misconduct.
Another story coming from the Punch newspaper. Again, we have inflation dropped to 18.02% in 6 months streak.
We have another story from the Hope where police arraign for mother of Osun local government chair.
Another story coming from the Daily Post newspaper where we have this story coming through your air live from the iPower 102.7 FM. We have 2027 opposition vote can only come from Atiku, El-Rufai, Kwakwanso, Emir Sanusi says Momodu.
Also, we have this from the Hope. Enugu Bayelsa governor's cost there dumps PDP for APC.
Yes, another story coming from the Daily Post newspaper where we have Dele Alake plans gold for Naira program to boost foreign reserves.
Away from the Hope and straight to the Punch where we have Castina governor denies negotiating with bandits.
Moving straight away to the Nation newspaper where we have Lokbobiri Wike order OK Diri's exit from PDP.
We have this one from the Punch where we have Imesi to establish NGO for girl child.
Another story coming from the Nation newspaper as well. We have Tinubu has no reason to be poor. Nigerian has no reason to be poor, says Tinubu.
We have another one from the Punch where we say mass defection ignites one party state fear.
Another story coming from the Nation newspaper as well. We have Edo Governor of Pebolus employ 5,000 teachers.
And also we have this one from the Punch which says youth parliamentarian laments inadequate business support.
Still on the Nation newspaper, we have Ondo PDP House of Assembly clash over defection of opposition lawmakers.
Still taking stories from the Punch where we have Monarch Lots cancel chair for healthcare inventions.
And lastly, from my side, where we have another story coming from the Cable newspaper, we have governors running from marks they created, says Dixon.
And of course, this still from the Punch where we have Cross River ban agent from inflating rents.
And with that, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll give you details of further stories to come.
Glad to have you back. You're still listening to iPower 102.7 FM, and the program is In the Papers, a newspaper review program where we bring to you stories and major headlines making way for today. And of course, from the Hope newspaper, where I have councillors suspend or will cancel chair over alleged misconduct. Now the details of the story. The chairman of our local government area of Ondo State, Honorable Tokpe Omolayo, has been suspended indefinitely over alleged gross misconduct and financial irregularities. However, the council boss dismissed the suspension as mere media propaganda, describing it as far from the truth. The suspension, which took immediate effect, was announced on Wednesday by the Owo Legislative Council under the leadership of Honorable Doyin Adebayo during a plenary session in Owo. A majority of the 11 councillors reportedly endorsed the resolution, which accused Omwalayo of several offences, including financial impropriety, violation of statutory budget regulations, and disregard for traditional authorities. According to the council's resolution, the Owo Local Government Legislative Council under the House Leader Honorable Doyin Adebayo has taken the decisive actions to ensure good governance and accountability in our local government area. The council further stated that the vice chairman, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, would assume office as acting chairman while investigation continues. For details of that story, see the Hope newspaper with the headline, "Councillors Suspend our council chair over alleged misconduct."
Still on the Nation newspaper, where we have this particular story coming through your air from iPower 102.7 FM, Emureile Owo, Ondo State. We have this story coming through your air. We have Ondo PDP House of Assembly clash over defection of opposition lawmakers. Now to the detail of this particular story. The People Democratic Party (PDP) in Ondo State and House of Assembly has trade words over the recent defection of two opposition lawmakers to ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). The lawmaker Oladiji Oguntundo, representing Akure South constituency, and Raymond Oluwatoyin Daudu, Deputy Minority Leader representing Akoko Southwest constituency, formally announced their defection during the last Thursday plenary session. Until their defection, Oguntunde and Daudu were the only remaining PDP members in the 10th House of Assembly. Their desist came barely a month after they resigned from the PDP, citing leadership crisis and internal wrangling in the party. In their resignation letters, both lawmakers said their defection followed wide consultation with family members, constituency, and political leaders who advised them to align with the ruling party. For detail of this particular story, see the Nation newspaper with the headline, Ondo PDP House of Assembly clash over defection of opposition lawmakers.
Still taking stories from the Hope newspaper, where we have this one, and it says, okay, this is from the Nation newspaper, where we have Union One firm not paying minimum wage, labor law violation. Now the details. Employers Association of Private Employment Agencies of Nigeria has vowed to clamp down on firms that fail to comply with the nation minimum wage and violate decent work standard. At its 14 AGM in Lagos, President Okegwe said the union will partner with NLC and Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity to uphold workers' rights, especially in enforcing the 70,000 naira wage. Chief Okegwe said his administration would strengthen the body's structures and deepen its collaboration with regulatory and international labor bodies. He said, and I quote, "Our plan is to reinforce our structure and relationship with the ministry, ILO, IOM, and others." The president, who decried reports that some companies still pay workers 20,000 naira to 50,000 naira monthly, said the union will no longer remain silent on the issue. Past President Olufemi Ogunlowo noted challenges facing the private sector. He cited rising costs, inflation, restrictive policies, and weak infrastructure based on orders. For details of that story, see the Nation's newspaper with this headline, Union One firm not paying minimum wage, labor law violation.
Away from that to the Punch newspaper, where I have Jonathan Slam's successor for abandoning Biosas project. Now to the detail of that particular story. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has lamented the abandonment of key projects the initiated as governor of Bayelsa State, blaming successive administration for failing to sustain his development agenda. Speaking on Wednesday at the inauguration of the best Western Plus Hotel in Yanagwa, Jonathan said that he had begun several hotel projects to to attract tourism and investment to the state before he became vice president in 2007. He noted that those projects were left unattended after he left office, describing the trend as a major source of waste in governance. He said, and I quote, "When a governor leaves office, the next governor doesn't want to follow up, and most of the money spent goes to waste." He further quoted the former president recalled that his administration had invested in the hospitality sector to make Yanagwa more appealing to academic awards, which Bayelsa hosted at the time. He further quoted that during the first AMAA event, most of the international guests stayed in Port Harcourt because Bayelsa had no suitable hotels. He said, "So we supported local hoteliers with loans of 10 million naira to 15 million naira to upgrade their facilities. But after I left office, nobody refunded the money and the initiative died." He added that his government had also rewarded contracts to the construction of 3 major hotels, including tower hotels and 2 3-star facilities, which were never completed. For detail of this particular story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, "Jonathan Slam's successor for abandoning Bayelsa's project."
Still taking stories from the Hope newspaper, where we have police arraigned for over murder of Osun local government chair. Now the details. 4 suspects allegedly linked to the murder of the late chairman of Iri-Wali local government area in Osun State, Remi Abbas, were arraigned on Wednesday before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The defendant, Abubakar Kabiru, also known as Jeje 38, Tajuddin Okwayemi 30, Akim Agbomojo 28, and Akintoye Olayemi 40, all from Ikiri and Akwamu in Osun State, were arraigned before Justice Joyce Abdulmalik. They were charged with terrorism, illegal possession of firearms, and the murder of Abbas, who was killed on February 17, 2024 in Ikire, Osun State. Appearing for the prosecution, A.S. Oyeyemi, representing the Inspector General of Police, while Sunday Adebayo appeared for the defendant. Muhyiddin Adeoye held a watching brief for the nominal complainant in court. 1. The defendants were accused of conspiring, aiding, and instigating acts of terrorism in various towns and villages across Osun State, contrary to and punishable under the Section 26(1) ABC of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. For details of that story, see the Hope newspaper with the headline, "Police arraigned for over murder of Osun State local government chair."
Still taking story from the Punch newspaper, where I have presidential jets still unsold 4 months after listing. Now to the story. The presidential Boeing 737-700 business jet listed for sale by Nigerian government in July 2025 remained unsold nearly 4 months after it was uploaded on an international aircraft sales platform. This was confirmed through email exchange between our correspondent and marketing firm handling the listing, Jet headquarters based in the United States. In response to an inquiry, the company's market research assistant, Marina Nuevo, confirmed that the aircraft remained unavailable. However, she will revert further correspondence to the firm's market research manager, Ms. Larry Baringa, who declined to provide additional information on the sale. He now quoted that, "We do not provide this kind of information to anyone but the direct owner of the aircraft. This is considered proprietary information. I hope you can understand the only data that we can provide you is that the aircraft remain available for sales," Bringer stated in a reply. A follow-up message demanding accountability, stating that the jet was bought and maintained with taxpayers' money, has yet to respond to. As the press of this time, the aircraft, a Boeing 737-700 business jet, is being managed by Amac Aerospace, a Switzerland-based company specializing in maintenance and aircraft sales. For details of this particular story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, "Presidential jet still unsold 4 months after listing."
And still taking stories from the Hope newspaper, where we have Enugu Bayelsa governors causes stir, dumps PDP for APC. Now details. The People's Democratic Party has left with only 8 governors following the defection of Enugu State Governor Peter Umba and his Bayelsa counterpart Doye Diri to the ruling All Progressive Congress. The latest defection has further weakened the opposition party, which had controlled 11 states after the 2023 elections. With the recent development, the APC now holds 24 states, while PDP controls 8. The Labour Party, All Progressive Grand Alliance, and the New Nigerian People's Party govern only 1 state each. Umba announced his defection on Tuesday. His movement was immediately welcomed by the APC leadership. Barely 24 hours, Diri confirmed his exit from the PDP in Yanagwa, citing obvious reasons. As of Wednesday, the governors still in the PDP are at Damawa, where we have Amodu Fintiri, North and East. In Bauchi, we have Bala Muhammad for the Northeast. For Plateau, we have Caleb Musfawan. For North Central, we have Taraba, where we have Abu Kefa. For Zamfara, we have Dauda Lawan. For Oyo, we have Sheyi Makinde. For Rivers, we have Similai Fubara. And for Oshun, we have Ademola Adeleke. Some of the governors, including Taraba, have been the subject of defection rumor, though none have been confirmed. The fresh wave of defection comes just days after the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, after Governor Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed expressed concern over growing number of governors and senior party figures crossing to the APC. For details of that story, see the Hope newspaper with the headline Enugu Bayelsa governors causes stir, dumps PDP for APC.
And yes, I'm taking story from the Punch newspaper as well. Senate screen new INEC chair Mupitons today. Now to the detail of this particular story. The Senate will today Thursday screen Professor Josh Ojo Mupiton for the position of chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The announcement was contained in a circular issued on Wednesday by the Director of Information for Senate, Bula Audu Bil Allah, and made available to journalists in Abuja. The development comes barely 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu's letter seeking the speedy confirmation of Mupiton was read on the Senate floor by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The circular reading in part, and I quote, "The Office of the Secretary, Research and Information wishes to notify members of the press and the general public that the Senate will on Thursday, 16 October 2025, conduct the screening of the nominee of President Bola Tinubu, Professor Josh Ojo Mupiton, as INEC chairman." For details of this particular story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline.
Away from that and straight to the Punch, where we have Katsina governor denies negotiating with bandits. Now the details. Katsina State Governor Malam Diko Rada has reaffirmed that his administration is not negotiating with bandits, stressing that the state seeks only genuine and sustainable peace. He made this declaration during the inauguration of 100 new officials of the Community Watch Co. Sea-Watch, which will extend to the security outfit operation to 20 of the state's 34 local government areas. Speaking at the passing out ceremony of the third batch of Sea-Watch officers in Katsina, Rada reflected on his administration's steady progress towards restoring lasting peace across the state. There has been reports on a supposed peace meeting between bandits and government officials in the state, but the governor dismissed the claim as false. He said, the headline says that the Katsina state government is negotiating with bandits, but it is far from reality. I have publicly maintained that the government will not negotiate with bandits, but will also welcome peace, he said. He reaffirmed that his administration's determination to decisively end banditry in Katsina state, describing what he called Castina mode as a fully community-driven approach. According to him, the mode allows members of affected communities to initiate and negotiate peace paths with repentant bandits who agree to lay down their arms. Furthermore, he stated that the role of the state government is to encourage and support the peace process while maintaining law and order in these communities. Our focus is to ensure that communities that enjoy peace also benefit socio-economically, giving our people a dignified existence, he said. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, Castina Governor denies negotiating with bandits.
And if you are just joining, you are onto In the Papers, the newspaper review program on iPower 102.7 FM. You can also join us on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on iPower 1027 FM. You can also connect with us via our TikTok on iPower 1027. You can also reach out to us by calling in to share your opinion on the topics of today on 081 6552 4699. 081 6552 4699. With that, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll give you details of further stories.
Your last na the ogbonge program wey we don design for all our better customers. As you don enter this ember period, so you dey sell market and you wan make the whole world hear your tori. Na on top iPower 102.7 FM make you dey run dey come because e dey your back gidigba. Now na by yourself you go tell the world wetin you dey sell. On top our program with just shikini money pere, the awoof go begin for 1st of October till 31st of December, Monday to Friday, every 8:30 for morning and 2 p.m. for afternoon. Now, iPower dey for you because now by yourself you go tell us wetin you dey sell. If you snooze, now you sabi. Reach us for our line for 08063582857 or 08131570419. Also for on top 07067072127. It still remain 08038140723. Now you know why you dey wait so because time no dey.
Welcome back. We are still on to In the Papers, the newspaper review program on iPower 102.7 FM, Imurele, Owo, Ondo State. As I said earlier, you can connect with us on our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube on iPower 102.7 FM. You can also reach out to us to share your perspective, your opinion, via our telephone number or share a message through our WhatsApp on 081 65524699. 081-6552-4699. Moving on with a story coming from the Punch newspaper, where I have inflation dropped to 18.02% in 6 months streak. Now to the detail of this particular story. Nigeria's headline inflation rate is to 18.02% in September compared to 20.12% in August 2025, indicating the 6th consecutive month of declaration in inflation. This was disclosed by the National Bureau of Statistics in the latest Consumer Price Index published on Wednesday. These also marked the first time in 3 years that inflation had fallen below the 20% threshold. The rebalancing of the CPI has been a driver of the decline in inflation this year, which has resulted in the first rate cut by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria in years. The sustained dip in inflation supports the projection by economists that the MPC may still cut the benchmark rate. According to National Bureau of Statistics, the September 2025 headline inflation rate decreased by 2.1% compared to the previous month. On a year-on-year basis, this headline inflation rate was 14.68%, lower than the rate recorded in September 2024, that is 32.70%, marking an increase compared to the same month in the preceding year. This, however, on a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in September 2025 was 0.72%, which was 0.02% lower than the rate recorded in August 2025. This means that in September 2025, the rate of increase in the average price level was lower than the rate of increase in the average price level in August 2025. For detail of this particular story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline: Inflation drops to 18.02% in 6 months streak.
And still taking stories from the Punch, where we have Cross River bans agents for inflating rent. Now to the details of that story. The Cross River State House of Assembly has deliberated on the move to ban housing agents in Calabar and other parts of the state for their alleged role in arbitrarily inflating rent price and worsening the cost of living for residents. The lawmaker reached their resolution during a plenary on Tuesday following a motion raised by the member representing Abia State constituency, Dave Etta, on the matters of urgent public importance. Etta expressed concern over what he described as unreasonable, provoked, and economically destabilizing rent increases across Calabar and its environs, blaming landlords and property agents for exploiting tenants amid the current economic hardship. According to him, many residents have cried out as landlords often acting in the advice of house agents now charge exorbitant rent even on old and dilapidating buildings. He said buildings erected over 2 to 3 decades ago and many with leaking roof, faulty plumbing and poor drainage are now rented out at outrageous rates. Cross Riverians are crying for help as landlords often on the advice of house agents raise rent prices on old and dilapidated properties without any justification. It further stated that a self-contained room on Marian Road now costs as high as 1.5 million per year, while in Calabar South, one-bedroom apartment goes for between 800 and 1 million naira. In areas like Parliamentary Extension, E1 State Housing and CICC, tenants are being charged up to 2 million naira for more than 1 or 2 bedroom flats. It stated he decried the growing impunity among landlords who issue instant eviction notice to tenants unable to meet new demand, some insisting on 2-year rent upfront, further compounding the economic hardship on civil servants, students, and small business owners. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline: Cross River bans agent for influencing rents.
Away from the Punch newspaper, moving straight to the Nation newspaper, where I have Edo Governor Okpebolo employs 5,000 teachers. Now to the story. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo has absorbed over 5,000 contract teachers into the Ministry of Education as permanent workers. The teachers who for years were on contract with a monthly stipend of 65,000 naira during the administration of former Governor Godwin Obaseki were given appointment letters during a ceremony held at the Government House yesterday. A landmark move hailed as historic in Nigeria's education sector. Governor Okpebolo, who oversaw the distribution of the letters, emphasized the significance of the occasion and the government commitment to valuing its educators. He said, and I quote, "Teachers, I am happy to see you. I want it this way because I had asked several times if you have received your letters. The answer was no, so I decided to supervise the process myself. As you collect your appointment letters today, you will also receive transport fare because I know many of you have traveled long distances." He acknowledged the vital role of teachers played in shaping the future of Edo State, underscoring the administration's dedication to improve the welfare of educators. He, however, noted, "You are very important to us. Your reward is no longer in heaven, it is here under our watch." Addressing the teachers earlier, Commissioner of Education Dr. Padi Iyamo expressed his appreciation about their preservation over the past 3 years despite the challenges of being on contract. He said, and I quote, "You have been suffering for years, yet you have stayed committed to educating our children, waking up at night to prepare lesson notes because schools without teachers are useless. Today an angel has come, a leader who thinks about your welfare." And day and night, he highlighted the achievement of Okpebolo administration in the education sector. noting that the building of over 68 schools within 1 year in at benefiting children from all walks of life. For detail of this particular story, see the Nation newspaper with the headline, Edo Governor of Pebolo employs 5,000 teachers.
Also reading from the Nation newspaper, where we have why PDP leaders, governors are joining APC, says Wike. Now the details of that story. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nsam Wike, on Wednesday said leaders and governors of the main opposition People Democratic Party are joining the ruling All Progressive Congress due to the capacity of President Bola Tinubu. While Wike said those who once criticized the president are now members of the APC. It disclosed this are the flag off of the construction of the main carriageway on the outer Southern Expressway in Abuja. The minister said Tinubu has shown leadership and the ability to deliver the dividends of democracy. Wike said he has been justified that Mr. President is a performer, adding that the governors should rather commend him for doing a good job of paving the way for them to join the ruling party. He said, I have been watching on daily television and social media people who said I went to destabilize the party. I am working for the APC. All of them are now in the APC, so which means if it is true, they should commend me for working for where they are heading. So I should be commended for doing a good job for them. In the past 48 hours, the governor of Enugu State, Peter Umba, resigned his membership of the People PDP and joined the ruling APC, stating in a decision was in the interest of national development under President Tinubu's leadership. Governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, also resigned his membership of the party on Wednesday, along with 19 members of the State House of Assembly, making it fourth PDP governor to defect ahead of the 2027 general election, bringing the number of PDP governors from 11 as of October 2024 into only 8 as of today. For details of that story, see the Nation's newspaper with the headline, Why PDP leaders, governors are joining APC, Wike says.
Still taking story from the Nation newspaper as well. We have Nigeria has no reason to be poor, says Tinubu. Now to the detail of this particular story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that Nigeria has no reason to remain a poor nation, given its vast natural and human resources. Represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Senator George Akume, at the opening of the 10th Mining Week in Abuja, the president said his administration is determined to turn the country's mineral wealth into engine of economic growth and shared prosperity. He said, and I quote, Nigeria has no reason to be poor, not when God has blessed our land with abundant resources and talented people. President Tinubu noted that the ongoing reform in the solid mineral sector are already yielding results. He said revenue generation rose from 6 billion in 2023 to 38 billion naira in 2024, reflecting improved policy, direction, and accountability. He, however, quoted that our challenges is to harness this God-given potential to bring prosperity to all. Let us turn our mineral into a miracle of development. For detail of this particular story, see the Nation newspaper with the headline, Nigeria has no reason to be poor, says Tinubu.
And still taking stories from the Punch, where we have schools charging fee in foreign currencies should be shunned, says Minister. Now the details. The Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dr. Dele Alake, says schools in Nigeria charging tuition fee in foreign currencies should be closed. Alake made the score at the Nigerian Gold Day celebration on the sidelines of the 10th edition of the Nigerian Mining Week, themed Nigeria Mining from Progress to Global Relevance on Wednesday in Abuja. He criticized the practice and described it as a part of the leakage and loopholes in Nigeria's economy, threatening its growth. He says, and I quote, "I am still going to make a proposal to the Federal Executive Council that all those schools in Nigeria that are charging in foreign currencies should be closed." He further stated that these are some of these leakages and loopholes that still exist in our economy, that people do not really take things very seriously. He stated, if you look into the foreign currencies that goes into some of these, it is humongous. Also, he stated that the minister stated that the federal government was introducing various measures, including digital mechanism, to ensure that all leakages in Nigeria golden value chain are blocked and every loophole is sealed. He said that the move would rescue rooms. He said that the move would rescue rooms for impersonation transaction, thereby reducing the propensity of corruption, which would further position Nigeria's gold as one of the global pillars of means of exchange of value. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, "Schools charging fee in foreign currency should be shut."
Now moving on to the cable newspaper, where I have this particular story coming through your air live from IPA 102.7 FM. Governors running from mess they created, says Seriki Dixon knocked Diri for leaving PDP. Now to the detail of the story. Seriki Dixon, senator representing Bayelsa West, has criticized Doye Diri, governor of Bayelsa, for resigning from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Dixon accused Diri and other defectors of abandoning the problem they created. Diri announced his resignation from the PDP on Wednesday during a cabinet meeting at the governor's house in Yanagwa. The governor said he left the opposition party for various obvious reasons. Speaking with journalists after the Senate plenary on Wednesday, Dixon said Diri had consulted him several times before making the decision, but that he found no compelling reason for a second-term governor to dump the PDP. He said, and I quote, "I am where I have been. I am where I am. I don't believe that Nigerians should be one party," Dixon said. He further quoted, "As a soldier of democracy, I am used to ups and downs of politics life. I remain steadfast in People's Democratic Party, working with my colleagues and friends to ensure that the problem in the party are solved." The former Bayelsa governor accused PDP governor and members of the party National Working Committee of being behind the crisis rocketing the platform. He further quoted that, "I hope that the governors and the leadership working committee who created this mess in our party, all of them, and who, instead of showing leadership, have created this mess and ensured that it has persisted for this long. They are one now bailing out after creating the problem that they could not solve or resolve to solve. It is very sad, very, very sad. It is making Nigeria look small, making our country democracies look ridiculous." Dixon said the defection trend undermined Nigerian multi-party democracy. For detail of this particular story, see the cable newspaper with the headline, "Governors running from mess they created. Seriki Dixon knocked Diri for leaving PDP."
Still taking stories from the Punch, where we have KB approves 4 billion naira to renovate several general hospitals. Now the details. KB Executive Council has approved the rehabilitation of several general hospitals across the state at a cost of 4 billion naira. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Alhaji Jinadu Marshal disclosed this while briefing newsmen shortly after the council's meeting held in Birin, KB on Wednesday. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the meeting was presided over by Governor Nasiru Idris. Marshal said the approval was part of the state government's commitment to improving healthcare delivery and ensuring that hospitals were adequately equipped to serve the people. He listed the benefiting hospitals to include those in Gambaza, Zuru, Kamba, Diri, Daji, Kankiwa, Cocoa, and Euro. In addition to this, the Arugu General Hospital has already been rehabilitated and equipped with modern facilities to efficiently serve the people of the area, while other hospitals in Zaga, Zuru, Bunza, Groma, Benau, Jega, Shanga, and Sayaya Memorial Hospital in Brunel, KB are either completed or undergoing rehabilitation, Michelle confirmed. According to him, a total of 16 general hospitals have been rehabilitated, in addition to the new approval of the 7 hospitals under the administration of Governor Idris. The Attorney General said the governor assured that before the end of his tenure, all 30 general hospitals in the state will be rehabilitated and adequately equipped. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, KB approves 4 billion naira to renovate 7 general hospitals.
Away from the Punch newspaper, still on the Nation newspaper, where I have PDP state chairman endorsed Ibadan convention. Now to the detail of this particular story. The state chairman of the People Democratic Party, PDP, yesterday disassociated themselves from the lawsuit currently before the Federal High Court Abuja, seeking to halt the proposed convention. The chairman of Edo State Chapter and co-coordinator of the forum, PDP chairman, Dr. Tony Ezwegbemi, cited his colleague Austin Nwachukwu Imo and Ama Abraham Nana from Abia for dragging the party to the court. Ezwegbemi said the forum has decided to suspend the 2 chairmen and urged the NWC to take disciplinary action against those found to be directly or indirectly connected to the court case. He said, and I quote, "We distance ourselves completely from the suit and the plan to use it to stop the PDP from holding its national convention. This is not right. We want to state clearly that we are solidly behind the Damagum-led NWC and we will give our full support to ensure each free convention," he said in a statement. Ezwegbemi, who also accused the All Progressive Congress (APC) of trying to turn the country into one-party state, vowed that the forum would work with the national leader to strengthen the party ahead of the 2027 general election. For detail of this particular story, see the Nation newspaper with the headline, PDP state chairman endorsed Ibadan convention.
And away from that and back to the Punch, where we have BB Niger winner Imisi established NGO for girl child. Now the details. The winner of the Big Brother Niger Season 10, Opeyemi Ayonwale, popularly known as Imisi, has revealed plans to establish a non-governmental organization focused on supporting the girl child. Speaking shortly after receiving an additional 2 million naira check from Beth King recently in Lagos, Imisi described the gesture as both overwhelming and inspiring. The prize was awarded for a competition she won while in the Big Brother house, sponsored by the betting company. While expressing gratitude to our Big Brother Niger experience and the latest cash prize, Imisi opened up about her childhood struggles, which she described as dramatic and challenging. She further said her journey had long inspired a desire to support a young girl facing similar difficulties. She said, and I quote, "I am overwhelmed, I am happy, I am grateful. I feel good, excited and delighted. I feel good seeing that all this works in my favor. As a lady, I know what it is. Well, I know what it was growing up. So for me, I would like to do something for a girl child. I am not clear yet, but something like a foundation for the girl child, because that has always been my desire, and I think I really want to do that." The winner of a Big Brother Niger Season 10, Opeyemi Ayonwale, popularly known as Imisi, has reviewed our plan to support the girl child. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with the headline, BB Niger winner Imisi to establish NGO for girl child.
Away from that, moving straight to the cable newspaper, where I have this particular story coming through your air from Alpha 102.7 FM. We have Dele Alake plan gold for Naira program to boost foreign reserves. Now to the details.